in the early game and don't even let it get to late game, last game, or Super Marco, right? We've got the Claude. He can, you know, hopefully win us the game in those skirmishes, team fights later on. But still, I think if you would have done what Midnight mentioned, was maybe take the Kagura, have a little more bursty mid lane, right, for Kill VJ here. Maybe, or sorry, for Few. Then that could work better. Burst. Yeah, a reliable burst that isn't just, you know, the Claude on Super Marco. So already similar bans coming out here. Let's see what BREN decides to take out next.
I'm actually surprised that BREN Esports banned out the Beatrix. So I think the priority here is the hero of Kyle TZ, probably the assassins, like the Hayabusa, the Ling, even the fighter Paquito sounds nice. It sounds decent for BREN Esports. But Omega, remember, and quick heads up for the audience, Omega chose to go second pick this time around. BREN Esports had the priority last time. Now Omega chose to go second, and it is a battle of gold laners. If you think about this matchup, Claude is still going to be the priority here for both sides. And if you're BREN, you don't want to be first picking Claude. So I feel like Omega, they're going to be happy with the Beatrix ban that BREN did. Because guess what? Omega can just pick up the Claude and Eve on the second phase. Or even better, a Claude plus the X-Play here for Renzo, because they want to hide the hero pool of KLBJ at this moment. So BREN Esports, again, you're kind of forced into a situation wherein you are forced to play against a Claude. And even if Omega gives up the Claude, they still have a Clint, and you have to worry about the Clint. So if they need, number one, they need gap closers here on the side of BREN Esports. Ling fits the bill, and I feel like Kyle TZ will most likely be forced to play the assassin here.
And at some point, as you mentioned a while ago, 2 games in a row, right? Those who will pick their side have always managed to get the red one, which is why it is somewhat of a, you know, problem here for whoever gets the first pick, because there's a lot of ways, or there's a lot of options still coming in from the first side, and you don't want to give those 2 picks away. But so far, Faramis is going to be taken out of the equation here by the Barangay. They don't want to handle that problem much longer. But, you know, the other part of the coin, right? Valentina hasn't really done very well in this season.
I like that they become 2 sides of the coin. Because you don't see Valentina without the Faramis. Even if Valentina comes through, well, you know, the Faramis is banned. So I think Omega, they're going to be happy with either letting the Valentina go through or letting BREN Esports dictate the first pick. Because again, it's going to become a battle of who gets the Claude. And I feel like Omega, if they really want to play the Claude, they let go of the Valentina. And even if they let go of the Valentina, there's no first pick material from BREN Esports that will change the dynamic of this draft.
Yeah, because they're, I mean, they have one last ban here for this first phase. They haven't taken the 1-1 out either, right? So it's only the Beatrix that's banned out here. So, like Sona mentioned, there's so many options if you are blue. Okay, there you go. Right, so that is going to be the 1-1 taken out here by Smart Omega. Now, again, I don't think we see them take Valentina first pick, because that might not be the best option, but they, I mean, if they take it...
You're kind of forced to, man.
I know, if they feel like we need to take this Valentina, then maybe, again, that's exactly what Smart Omega wants to do.
Honestly, if you're BREN, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's impossible. Okay, they pick up the Fanny. It's respectable. It's a good hero for Kyle TZ. He's a very good Fanny specialist. And Omega, they let through of this. Remember,
not yet, though.
Take note, they let go of this. And the problem is, you're letting Omega pick up Claude and Valentina.
Well, they just locked in the Fanny.
Right?
Then you go Claude Kufra for Omega.
There's still counters, right? So it is the usual problem
and
to
it is
whoever gets the first side.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's the Chaknu.
Oh, right.
It's the Mamba. And I wouldn't be surprised if they give that. Well, actually, I wouldn't be surprised if they pick it, because they don't want it to be banned out in the second phase, and that's probably the best option they have. Aside from, they could actually go Franco again if they really wanted to, right?
Ooh.
So let's see. This is also interesting. Not sure if they're going to lock this in just yet.
I'm not sure with the Lolita pick. I kind of feel like Lolita is such a useless hero against a Fanny, but they go for the Paquito, and I feel like Valentina should be next. Oh, they pick up the Mush.
Yeah, they somewhat want to fight the mobility with mobility in the same way, and they kind of want to annoy Kyle TZ with what he wants to do here.
It's a good thing for BREN Esports. Now they can pick up the Claude and Valentina.
That's actually true.
Now Omega, if you want to answer that, the only pick that you can get on this first phase is just a Franco.
Yeah.
Which sounds bad, because there's a lot of heroes that can come out from BREN Esports. Of course, Atlas is going to be banned out, but you already have the Valentina. Valentina is such a good hero against Cranko.
But we are going to take a look at how BREN Esports will maximize the potential on those two picks that you have mentioned a while ago. They have somewhat of an opportunity for them to be able to get those two picks, and they might be able to do just so, given that there is mobility, burst damage, and sustain coming in from the other side. I'm already hearing voices, and you got that one right. It is a Valentina pick here for the side of BREN Esports, mixed up with an Esmeralda. We've seen Pandora use this Esmeralda in the first game, and my oh my, he has been the catalyst to what could possibly be a BREN win for them.
So it feels like BREN Esports, they prioritize the X-Plane too much, and it is a Chakra, but BREN Esports, it is foretelling that there's a shortage of X-Planers on the pool of Pandora, because you could have picked up the Claude right there and then. And Omega will most likely ban it out or get it for themselves. And at this point, it feels good to be picking up the Claude for Omega, because you have a lot of frontliners that protect you, and you don't even need to worry about the Fanny and the Valentina pick, because during the team fight, you're just going to be fighting around the Kufra, and whenever the Blazing Duet has been laid out, most likely it is going to be started by Chapno. So you don't have to worry about targeting and split team fights, because Omega, they will have fantastic fights whenever one breaks out.
Yeah, and there goes the Atlas. As you've been mentioning a while ago, a setup hero for the side of BREN Esports to turn the tides around is not going to be the case here for the Hive, because so far, again, XP laners, priorities here for BREN Esports. But given that there is indeed a scenario where we can possibly see Kelra picking up the Claude once again, because there is still lack of gold laners for both of the squads, Claude might be a ban here for BREN Esports if they want to go and force it right over here. But there is a ban being processed here by the side of BREN Esports. We're already taking a look at the Beatrix and the 1-1 out of the equation for both of the squads. It's just going to be, up to a point where what are you going to use at this point?
Yeah, again, I mean, Smart Omega already with their first 3 picks, very solid across the board, right? We're talking Comfort, Paquito most likely going to be in the jungle, right? Against this Fanny. Is that what you're thinking, Midnight? I mean, how do they... There's no other place they're going to put this Paquito, right? And also, that was a Cho ban. I mean, I think we're still catching up here.
Yeah, I think that was a Cho ban on the side of Smart Omega. BREN Esports, they banned out a hero earlier. But again, I just want to say that Paquito is likely to go to the jungle against this Fanny. It's a faster hero, and it doesn't really suffer that much against the aggression of the Fanny, because we've seen that last week, I believe. We've seen a lot of Fanny and Paquito matchups. And the thing about the Paquito, even though you lose the early game battle against Fanny, especially with the Festival of Blood, you do get the mid-game timings. And right now, it feels like BREN Esports, they're playing most of the game with a lot of splits. Like the Valentina will be playing his own game. The Esmeralda will be playing on his own lane, and most likely other heroes from the BREN Esports will likely play individually. So I feel like that's where Omega can really capitalize on the fact that this Paquito can rock the Assassin emblem with the high and dry, and can take out a lot of the heroes of BREN Esports. I kind of feel like there's just a missing hero here. We heard it earlier. Can't remember whose voice line that is.
For some reason I was thinking it was Irithel.
It was a guy. It was a guy.
Was it?
But there goes the Claude.
Yeah. They chose to just, give the Claude. We'll figure it afterwards. But from the gameplay that we've seen from BREN Esports a while ago, it was Kyle TZ holding that high and dry emblem, right? So at some point, he wants to go for the backdoor plays.
Oh,
he
it was
wants
a
to
Moskov
go for those classic types of...
Yeah,
they've reached that far just to be able, just to not give Kelra any type of positioning. But so far, it is going to be a Claude. Very comfortable hero for the Smart Omega gold laner, but so far BREN Esports will be managing to try and figure out what they can pick for their gold lane. So far, what I like about the carry pick here is that there are a lot of tanky heroes, specifically the Kufra and the Masha, so it's gonna be a little bit easy for them. But given that there is only the Fanny and the Valentina to take control of the early game potential, there might not be enough damage, but hopefully they would be able to figure it out.
The only thing about the carry pick specifically is, 1, your range is really low, and 2, think about how much on the defense you're going to be. The thing about carry is you really do want to be aggressive with it to be able to shred the health of these tanks, right?
Oh.
But, okay, and even more so, to my point,
there's a lot of weight on the shoulders of Kyle TZ at the moment. This Vandy has to work. If they don't get any sort of mid-game momentum on their side, BREN Esports will just crumble to the pressure of the Paquito in the mid-game, and also allowing the Claw to just snowball out of control, because the main problem about BREN's lineup is that, yes, they have catch against the Claw, they have the frag for that, they have the damage with the carry, but in terms of team fight, once Omega groups up, there's no answer. Like, there's no big team fight ultimate that can come out from BREN Esports.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing about this, right? Because if you kind of cover the names of both of the teams, this was the similar picks that were picked up a while ago, but they chose to at least use it in a very different fashion. And hopefully BREN Esports would be able to do something about this one, because Smart Omega already won up in our series, and they are looking forward to making sure they would finish this up with a sweep. I'm already taking a look at what the possibility is here. And Kyle TZ, man, I think he really is a fan of the high and dry emblems, as far as I can remember.
I was going to say, yeah, he has the high and dry here.
I'm a big hater of the high and dry Paquito.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them. It was also Kyle TZ that had the high and dry. So we're going to see both of them just going at it. Again, this is what I like to see between two junglers that, I mean, just in general, when you have two junglers rolling with the assassin emblems, playing. I mean, Paquito, do you technically call him an assassin? Not really.
Kind of, yeah. When you're playing jungle Paquito, it's kind of an assassin, because you do have a lot of burst damage for your arsenal, and you also have mobility to escape. So in a way, you're kind of an assassin.
So even though he doesn't have assassin on his name, you know, his name in the game,
it's a hybrid assassin. Man.
Yeah, he basically, like, the damage is there. The hybrid assassin. Right. You know, he's
it's like Roger. Roger before was fighter marksman.
That's true.
Okay.
He became assassin marksman.
So maybe Paquito.
Maybe Paquito, in the long run, will become an assassin fighter.
You'll never know. Because there's a lot of changes going on.
Esmeralda is a tank.
That's true again.
I don't know why. Esmeralda is a tank. He's a mage. She's a mage.
Did you see what happened in the previous game? That's why.
Oh, yeah.
That's why she's a tank, man.
Just tanking a lot of damage like a champ.
Yeah, until eventually you don't. So that's what happened last game. But again, you know, I feel like for game 2, you already touched on this a little bit, Midnight. You have like a certain time frame, especially with a Fanny pick, and you have to be able to make that work for you early on. Otherwise, things will slip out of your hands, basically, mid to late game even.
It's a little problematic for this kind of lineup to deal with such a requirement, because the thing about your lineup is that it's meant to snowball. But in the face of a lineup that also snowballs, it's such a requirement for you to do that. And again, we talk about the nature of the Fanny and the Paquito. The Fanny does have the capabilities to outpace the gameplay of Smart Omega, but their main concern right now is that their mid-game strength is nowhere near comparable to the strength of the lineup of Smart Omega. Even though they have the Fanny, it's hard. I mean, even though they have the Valentina, it's hard to play a Valentina against an Eve that has a lot of reinforcements in the mid game. Like, imagine if there's gonna be a skirmish in the mid game. There's gonna be a Kufra, Paquito, Masha, and Claude. All of them will join the fight for #join the fight for Smart Omega.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, for BREN Esports, like, what do you do? What part of your lineup synchronizes very, very well when it comes to team fighting? It's just a bloody hunt into whatever you want to throw at the target of the Franco.
And there's a lot of backdoor plays coming into it too. So Few needs to find the best positioning available once he copies that real-world manipulation. But here we go. Will BREN Esports equalize in this series, or will Smart Omega take it all the way? Well, welcome to game number 2.
Yeah, and so as we take a look at the map here, right? Everyone's going to be pretty standard, I feel like. Again, you're really relying on Kyle TZ to just have an easy time in the jungle, not be disrupted at all, which is usually what you see teams do when there's a Fanny across the board, right? Sometimes get in the face of the Fanny, stall them out, right? But they're not going to worry about it.
Yeah, and actually, I feel like BREN Esports is going to go a little bit more aggressive just so they can reach that snowball factor that Midnight has been mentioning a while ago. They need to be able to do that and just get the attention and divert the attention away from Super Margo, just like what they did in game number 1, which they've executed into perfection. But Few, though,
well, it's already, again, you know, when, okay, dodging that hook too. when you have Chaknu playing the Kufra here, you always have to be weary of those iconic sets, right, coming out. Because even if they're down, he's done it many times. I mean, here he comes across the map, right on cue, forcing the flicker out from Ogwin. So already early on, this is the impact of the Mamba's Kufra.
Yeah, if you're playing against Chaknu's Kufra, you're not playing against Kufra, you're playing against Chaknu. This is the level of comfort of the guy on the hero. And I love that you talk about Chaknu's performance and the little details. You know, Ryzen, he was farming with the Kufra. That allowed Omega to have the safety net, the precautionary measures. Even if Kyle TZ did not invade, Omega had the right answers. Because guess what? If the Fanny invaded, he's gonna be met up against the Kufra.
Oh well, deep under the turret he goes. Kyle TZ gonna get caught though. Real world manipulation comes out, and that's gonna be the first blood going in the hands of Ryzen for Smart Omega.
Perfect positioning and placement of the bouncing balls coming out from Chaknu's Kufra. I mean, Kufra's Chaknu.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, they just squeezed him in, right? There was nowhere for the guy to be able to go even with that Sasagi or ropes, if I should say, because there were just a lot of places and mobility for the Fanny to go to, but unfortunately, Omega just maximized on the kills or the skills that they've had in taking control of the first blood. That's going to be a little bit more extra in terms of gold for a Smart Omega. Meanwhile, we're still not seeing a lot of fights from the side lanes. Mid lanes, though, very aggressive.
Yeah, I think, again, you know, if you are BREN, you really want to be careful on Kyle TZ here. You don't want to get knocked out or knocked down really this early on, but already it looks okay. He did manage to get the purple buff, but Turtle's still going to be worked on here. It was being bounced back and forth between Renzio and Pandora. Meanwhile, waiting for both teams' junglers to show up. Ryzen does come on first. Chaknu setting up in the bush. That's going to be secured by Smart Omega. Here we go. The Beyblade comes out. Kyle TZ able to get a kill himself. So they trade it out for the objective.
Yeah, little overstep coming out from Renzio, but I love the play that Chaknu made. He forced out the retribution. That secured the eternal objective for Smart Omega. But little overstep coming out from Renzio, was trying to zone away BREN Esports when it wasn't needed, because again, Ryzen already had the retribution advantage.
Yeah, right. There's Chaknu comes in. Oh man, the reaction time. So the flicker also committed from the Mamba, but not able to convert that into anything here.
With you, he has the copy of the Kufra. It's a it's a nice ultimate to have.
Yeah.
I've played this a lot of times. Feels really good because you have the pseudo flicker on your Valentina.
Well, there you go. They return here, but here comes Kyle TZ. Can't get the kill. Has to get out. Few, though, trying to get in position. Not able to commit with that either. Doesn't use the ultimate at all. So nice disengage there, forced from Smart Omega, just with a single ultimate. The real-world manipulation, you're seeing the value of it here.
I would say BREN Esports kind of pulled a punch there. Would have been awesome if they fought. Again, Few had a flicker, and he had a copy of Chaknu's ultimate. So I think it was over safe that they disengage away from Smart Omega. They could have gone for the punish, but now Smart Omega, again, this is becoming a problem for BREN Esports. This Claude is just able to farm away. Even though Super Marco has more levels and probably gold over the Claude, it's still a Claude.
Yeah, and in the same way, it was Super Marco getting the first item, which is going to be the Wind Talker, before 3 minutes of the fight. So you're already seeing how Super Marco handles that lane with the assistance of Ogwen in the same way. So at some point, BREN Esports still has the upper hand, leading almost 700 in terms of gold, although Chaknu is going to be in a little bit of a ruckus right over here because he's being chosen.
Yeah, he just got simply caught out, right? Nothing you can do there. Goes down. The bloody hunt was committed to. So, you know, Chaknu was just trying to get some information, but unfortunately, he knew that he overstepped and gets taken out here. Now, Ryzen looking to help up on the top side. Gonna pop quite a bit of damage on Ogwin. One punch away. Didn't even need it. Used that retribution, so he gets the kill. Actually, the burning floor. Oh no! What? He missed his body. Goes down. Ryzen actually the one to fall.
That was fun to watch.
Yeah. It was almost like it almost happened, but like nah. Going, like it was like back to regular programming, right?
And Smart Omega, they again they haven't capitalized on the fact that BREN Esports let loose in the mid game with Chaknu.
Yeah, Chaknu gonna get pulled here. Should be able to survive. Few, nowhere to go here. Trapped in the manipulation of his world.
Okay, Super Marco has Windtalker and Scarlet Phantom.
Yeah.
That's nice. It syncs up really, really well, especially with the attack speed that you're gonna get from the passive of the Scarlet Phantom. Whenever the Windtalker procs a critical hit, it increases your attack speed. So more DPS coming out from this carry.
Wow, Kyle TZ actually able to just grab that turtle there. I thought he was actually going to go down. Able to secure that hook from downtown as Ryzen falls here. A crucial hook coming out from Ogwin.
So BREN Esports, not much pressure in the early to mid game, but now they're amping up their momentum. And Omega, they haven't done anything yet. It's because of the fact that Chaknu was punished with the overstep that he made on the top lane. That is what stopped Omega from committing the plays that they want to make. And of course, BREN Esports, they have this good idea that they just need, after taking fights, they just need to shut down this Claude. And immediately, BREN Esports went towards the top lane. Chaknu, again, been seen by Ogwin.
Yeah, I don't know if he can escape this one. Iron Hook's gonna land here. Chaknu trying to buy time. Here comes Calro with the Blazing Duet. Can't get a kill though, as a few is there again. I feel like one thing that BREN has to be wary of. Hold on, in the pit, the purple buff. Kyle T's gonna get out of there just in time. So this is the thing, right? If you're BREN, you want to find all these fights as long as you're not forced to fight in the real world manipulation. That's the biggest advantage right now for Smart Omega. Kill VJ has been doing a great job at utilizing that ultimate. So if BREN can find these picks over anywhere around the map, other than where Kill VJ is, they profit off of that.
Yeah, and honestly, it's just Ogwen, you know, giving them the zipline experience so far. Has managed to take control with those momentum type of hooks that has managed to put BREN at the top spot right over here in this matchup. But I have to say, you're absolutely right. They got what they wanted here. They diverted KLVJ's attention. You know, you see KLVJ, right? Looking for other ways for him to be able to fight. But so far, Super Marco taking the brunt of the damage. And here comes 3 members of BREN Esports, but not to mention 2 others, Kelra and Chaknu, just laying behind.
It's pretty sure they saw, they saw the Mamba. They saw him peek out there for a second.
Yeah, he was setting up for a bomb play, I would say, for
the Mamba
Omega
set.
Yeah, but this is really hard for Smart Omega at the moment, even though it's just 2.7k gold, and they still have a Claude. So the late game possibility is, the late game factor is still a possibility for Omega, but right now it's really hard for them. They don't have the dominance.
You got it!
Oh, big hook again, paired with the flicker with the Bloody Hunt, and that's an immediate kill here on Ryzen. So Ryzen is not available for this first Allure take. It should just go in the hands of BREN easily. Ogwin checking the bushes here, Pandora as well. Chaknu gonna charge up here, goes in looking for an angle. Gonna get backed off. Renzio trying to join it too, but the Lord goes in the hands for Kyle TZ. They're happy with that one.
I'm telling you, man, it's the Ogwen experience. You know, Chaknu got what he wanted in the first game, but this time around, the Ogwen said, if you can do it, I can do it too. And at some point, he just wants to land it, and he just didn't manage to land the hook on just one player. It was the major factor upon getting that major objective take, but so far, Lord Dick here.
Wow, okay. That was a nice
there
dodge.
You go again.
Hook's gonna land. Kelra, the perfect target
experience.
As Kelra falls. And now an assault on the mid lane. Kyle TZ gonna poke a little bit more here. Turret's gonna get finally taken down. Tier 1 falls. Smart Omega on the defense. They have to handle the Lord marching up the top side as well.
I don't know, it's like I'm watching Kuroko the basket, and Ogwin is like Kise. He's been copying, you know, the moves of Chaknu from game number 1. The hook onto that Claude secured the victory here for BREN Esports. And again, all the moves that he has been making really make sense. The pressure is
You gotta go.
Whoa!
You gotta go.
Another one, Owen. The foresight as he grabs the hook here. Now Ryzen on the run. The rest of the team, Super Marco, Kyle TZ coming down. You can't escape it. Killing spree for Kyle TZ.
What is happening here, right? It's just Ogwen is making the major plays possible for them to create space.
Again, it's the individual plays that are on the side of BREN Esports. They're capable of executing it. Meanwhile, Omega, they haven't had the chance to have a clean team fight. KLVJ, he has been only able to land one successful real-world manipulation in the mid lane. After that, Omega wasn't allowed to have a decent fight anymore. It's because of the presence of Ogwen, who has been shutting down these heroes on the side of Smart Omega. Chaknu and Ryzen haven't had a good game in this second game of the series.
Man, BREN is like it ain't gonna be a problem if we're not gonna make it a problem. KelVJ just unable to use his real-world manipulation. They're just, you know, fighting with the breaks of the game. They're just trying to manage and hold on to the fact that they can get the kills through the pickoffs and not force a team fight, because we know that Smart Omega has that late game advantage. And taking a look at the items right now, you already have 4 or 5 major items for Super Marco right over here.
There's such a huge disparity between the gold of Super Marco and Kelra. 9k gold for the carry. Meanwhile, you only have 7.8 for the Claude. And what makes the game for Omega really hurt is the absence of the Dominance Ice. Again, you have nothing against the carry, and I feel like that's a big factor. That's why Omega hasn't had a chance to fight decently against the carry, because you already are worried about a lot of factors for Smart Omega. There's already the Fanny, there's already the Valentina, and there's also the Frank factor from BREN Esports. But none of them you can itemize against.
Yeah.
But against carry and Esmeralda, you can. And that's why I feel like Omega, they were not able to fight in the early game. It's because of the lack of the Dominance Ice on their side.
Well, here they go. Another hook's gonna land. Renzio has plenty of health bars, but they actually forced the reset on the Lord for now. So, BREN Esports still respecting Smart Omega here, despite the 7.5k gold lead.
Yeah, and honestly, they just want to do what they did from a while ago, try to divert the attention onto the other lanes that doesn't really concern the Lord. So now they have a total control. Renzio, Kelra, Chaknu, and KelVJ, what are they going to do here?
Ogwin going in, isn't going to use that ultimate just yet, and that's going to be the Lord secured here for BREN Esports as they're ready to get ready to march into the base of Smart Omega. So all turrets still up for Smart Omega in the base. Can they defend this one?
That is going to be the question for them over here, but I just want to say though, Super Marco looking juicy right over here with a 4-0-1. At least, you know, almost more than 50% of the kill participation already went to his side, and it is a courtesy of Ogwen's hooks, man. 7 assists out of 8, just out of this world. Totally, you know, mental hooks coming from the guy. He knows where the rest of the members of the barangay is going to position themselves. And in the same way, it's just BREN Esports with their mechanical play, just trying to, you know, pave a way or pave a name for themselves.
Again, big props to just Super Marco on this carry, because originally thought he was going to struggle with the range and everything else. But like you mentioned, Sona, the setups coming up from Ogwin with just the hooks alone enabled Super Marco to have a very good game up to this point. I mean, he's stacked at this point, and now already base going to be cracked open here for Smart Omega. They lose the top turret. Focus on the mid. Here comes Renzio, though. KyleTzy looking for the backside entry, but Kelra goes in with a blazing duet. There's KyleTzy to follow up the backside. Renzio falls, Chaknu finding a setup here, but no follow-up to follow as he falls. And now it's going to be the 1-for-2 trade.
Again, the lack of Dominance Ice is hurting this game for Smart Omega. The amount of sustain that Pandora has been able to do in this game is absurd.
They want to go.
Oh man, BREN might be looking at edit. They don't have many minions here, so they've got to be careful as the lanes have been cleared, but base is going to be fully exposed for Smart Omega. Ogwin now back on line here. There's the real-world manipulation coming down from Few. As trying to push them back here. KyleTzy now going to work on the crystal. Gets taken down.
Pandora.
Can they end it? And they do. BREN Esports takes it to game 3.
I love this. Perfect caster curve.
Love the game, man.
Been wrong